Have you ever stopped to think that every 19 minutes, an elderly person loses their life due to a fall? It's scary, I know. That's about 32,000 deaths per year. And the worst part is that many of these tragedies could be prevented. But there's something almost no one talks about. The difference between falling and staying strong may lie in little secrets that almost no elderly person knows, but that make all the difference. I'm about to share with you something that could change your life, or the life of someone you love. And no, we're not talking about expensive equipment or complicated exercises. What I'm going to reveal are simple adjustments, some so quick you can implement them in seconds. Physical therapists across Brazil are already using these strategies to help their patients regain their walking confidence and live independently again. What you're about to discover has helped thousands of people move from hesitant, fearful steps to confident, balanced, and firm. And the best part? You can start today, right there in your own home. I'm Dr. Ana Laura, and before we dive into these secrets, I want to get to know you better. Tell me in the comments where you're watching from, your city, your state, your country. I rate every comment with great care and love, seeing how our community is growing around the world. And if you're here because you care about your own balance or that of someone close to you, be sure to click subscribe and turn on the notification bell. This way, you'll ensure you don't miss any important tips that can, indeed, make all the difference. Now, if this message touched you in any way, type 1 in the comments. If not, that's okay too. Type 0. This simple gesture helps us understand who's with us on this journey and allows us to bring this valuable information to even more people. Let's start with a common and dangerous mistake many people make when walking, without even realizing it. This is the first secret to improving your walk and avoiding falls. The visual trap that is sabotaging your balance. You might be surprised, but that habit of constantly looking at your feet while walking, thinking you're being careful, could actually be putting you at risk. It seems counterintuitive, right? Let me tell you the story of Margaret, a 73-year-old retired nurse from Ohio. She always thought watching her feet was the best way to protect herself. After all, how can you trip over something you can see? But there's one detail no one has ever explained to her, not even her doctor. Looking at your feet all the time while walking is like trying to drive a car by looking only at the hood. You lose track of your surroundings, and that can be fatal. When you walk looking down, your body reacts dangerously. Your spine curves, your center of gravity shifts, your shoulders slump, your torso loses stability, and, most critically, your peripheral vision is drastically reduced. This leaves you blind to your surroundings, greatly increasing the risk of tripping and accidents. Science proves it. A study published in Journal of Gerontology revealed that elderly people who have the habit of looking at the ground when walking have 40% more likely to fall than those who keep their eyes straight ahead. But here comes the secret that changed everything for Margaret, and can change everything for you too. The 3-meter rule. Instead of looking directly at your feet, focus your eyes on a point 3 to 4 meters in front of you. That's it. This simple shift in gaze causes your entire body to automatically reorganize. Your spine aligns, your abs engage, and your peripheral vision opens, as if you're activating a natural alert system for your surroundings. Margaret tried this technique for just a week. Afterward, she told me, it was like someone had turned the light back on. I felt taller, more grounded, and for the first time in years, I stopped being afraid to walk alone in the parking lot. If you have a habit of walking with your eyes fixed on the ground, don't worry. It's more common than you think. The important thing is to know that your body hasn't forgotten how to walk confidently. It just needs a reminder. And sometimes, it all starts with a simple gesture, lifting your chin and trusting your vision to guide you safely forward. Secret number 2, the arm movement, that almost everyone forgets. Now, let's talk about a part of the body that rarely gets the attention it deserves when it comes to balance: the arms. It may seem strange, but your arms aren't just there to help you carry bags or hold on to something. They're actually one of your body's most powerful natural stability mechanisms. And do you know what happens when you stop using them properly? You lose your balance. Millions of elderly people, out of fear of falling, unconsciously freeze their arms when walking. They walk with their arms stiff, glued to their sides, or constantly busy holding something. And this, without realizing it, takes away one of their main balance tools. Let me show you why this is so important. When you walk, your arms and legs work together in a movement experts call a crossover pattern. And this means that when your right leg moves forward, your left arm moves forward as well, and vice versa. This movement is not only natural, it's essential for keeping your body aligned and your center of gravity stable. Want to see a real example? Meet Robert, a 78-year-old former carpenter. After a minor fall, he started using a cane, but instead of improving, he began to feel his balance deteriorating over time. That's when an attentive physical therapist noticed something curious. Robert's left arm had simply stopped moving. He was so tense holding the cane with his right hand that his entire body locked on the opposite side. The solution? Simple. Robert relearned to hold his cane more lightly, with a relaxed hand, and began gently swinging his free arm as he walked. In just 2 weeks, he told me, walking felt natural again. I felt looser, lighter, just like I used to, and you can do the same. When walking, keep your elbows slightly bent, your hands loose, and allow your arms to swing naturally along with the movement of your legs. Nothing forced, just a gentle rhythm, as if your body were dancing. Even if you use a cane, a walker, or have a weaker arm, try to keep the other one moving. This small adjustment can have a huge impact. Improved balance, increased confidence, and that wonderful feeling of freedom returning. If this made sense to you, comment below the number 2, and tell me if you've paid attention to this before. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, now's a good time, because the next secrets are even more powerful. Secret number 3, the foot landing technique that can prevent your next fall. Let's now talk about something you do every day, all the time, but maybe incorrectly, how your foot touches the ground when you walk. Many people believe that walking is automatic, that you don't need to think much, but the way you step can be the difference between staying upright or falling. And here's the problem. As the years go by, and especially after falls or pain, many older adults unconsciously change the way they walk, and this makes falls almost inevitable. Here's what should happen at each step. It all starts with Theto heel. When you take a step, the first part that touches the ground should be your heel, and do so gently. This initial contact absorbs the impact and prepares your body for the next movement. But when the body feels insecure or afraid, many people start to put their entire foot on the ground at once, or worse, they step directly with the front part, as if testing the ground. This completely disrupts the fluidity of walking and throws the entire body off balance. This movement of placing your heel first, then feeling the arch of your foot settle, and finally your toes gently pushing you into the next step. It may seem simple, but it's much more than elegance. It's your natural cushioning system in action. But as the years go by, some things change. Joint stiffness, old injuries, or even a fear of falling cause many older adults to change the way they walk. Without realizing it, they start placing their entire foot on the ground at once. Or worse, they start dragging their feet, letting their toes touch the ground before their heels. This seems like a safety measure, but in reality, this completely disrupts the body's natural balance mechanisms. Want a real example? Dorothy, a 69-year-old gardening enthusiast, started dragging her feet after nearly falling down a ladder. She thought she was being more careful, going slowly. But this new way of walking only increased the risk of tripping over any crack in the floor. That's when a physical therapist taught her a little exercise that made all the difference, relearning how to step properly, from heel to toe. She started in the kitchen, her hands resting lightly on the counter. Each step was taken with intention. First her heel hit the floor, then her arch, and finally her toes. Within 2 weeks, something incredible happened. Her calves grew stronger, her knees ached less, and she could walk confidently again, and with her head held high. You can also practice in a simple way. Try walking barefoot on a towel or soft mat. Feel the contact of your foot with the ground, first the heel, then the midfoot, and finally the toes. It may feel strange at first, but soon your body will recognize this natural pattern again. And do you know what happens when you step correctly? Your leg muscles activate like an orchestra in perfect synchrony. Your hips move at the right pace, your knees work better, and the risk of tripping or losing your balance drops dramatically. Secret number 4, smaller steps, more safety. This one might surprise you. Do you remember what it was like to walk when you were younger? Long strides, a fast pace, a sense of freedom. But what worked well in the past can be risky today. As we age, continuing to take long strides can destabilize our bodies. Most people don't even realize they need to adjust this. But the truth is, maintaining that long stride, as if you were still in your 20s or 30s, can put you in danger. A Johns Hopkins University study showed that older people who insist on taking long strides have higher risk of falling. The explanation lies in the shift in the center of gravity. When you take a long step, your body leans forward, but your weight shifts backward. This creates dangerous instability and reduces your ability to react. It's like you're constantly walking on the edge of falling, until one day, your body can no longer correct itself. That's exactly what happened to Frank, an 82-year-old retired mailman. Proud of his springy walk, he always thought long strides kept him young. But after tripping twice in familiar places, he realized something was wrong. With the help of a moving expert, Frank made a small change, shortened his steps by a few centimeters, and slightly increased their frequency. Instead of long strides, he began to walk with a more constant and steady pace. The result? Immediate. Frank stopped stumbling. He felt less tired after walking. And in his words, "It felt like my legs were part of the ground again." His connection with his body returned, and with it, the confidence to come and go without fear. Here's a truth that, at first glance, may seem counterintuitive. Stability always wins over speed. Think of a small child learning to walk. They don't run off. Their steps are short, arms open, body aligned, eyes alert. Each step is an effort to stay upright, not to get there quickly, but to avoid falling. This wisdom, which is innate within us, should not be forgotten over time. On the contrary, it becomes even more valuable as we age. Try a simple test at home. Walk at your normal pace for 10 seconds and count how many steps you take. Then repeat the test, but this time with slightly shorter steps. If you notice you've taken more steps in the same amount of time, that's a great sign. It means you're improving your control, balance, and stability. And this applies to everyone. It doesn't matter if you walk alone, with a cane, or a walker. The important thing is to keep up your pace. Compact, close to their center of gravity, your body will thank you with firmer footing, fewer stumbles, and much more confidence. If this helped you, comment below the number, or 4, or both, and tell me which of these tips has made the most sense to you so far. And remember, these are all small adjustments, but when applied together, they completely transform the way you walk, move, and live. And the best part, you don't need expensive equipment or hours of training. Just pay attention to your body. It already knows what to do. It just needs to be reminded. Secret number 5. The center of your balance is higher than you think. There is a common misconception when we talk about balance. Many people believe that everything depends on the legs. Sure, your legs are important. But the real secret to walking safely lies in a part of your body that many people completely overlook. Your core, or, in plain Portuguese, its center. This core includes more than just your belly. It encompasses your abdomen, lower back, and hips. These muscles work together as a natural support belt, keeping your spine firm and your body stable with every step. When this system is weak, everything becomes more difficult. Your legs work harder, your posture slouches, and the risk of losing your balance increases. But here comes the good news. You don't need a gym, expensive equipment, or complicated exercises to strengthen your core. Lillian, for example, is 81 years old and has always loved her morning walks. But over time, she began to feel increasingly unsteady. Instead of giving up, she decided to try something simple while waiting for the tea water to heat up. Lift one foot a few inches off the ground and hold it in the air for 5 seconds. Then she'd switch legs. That was it. At first, she thought, this isn't going to do any good. But a few weeks later, she told me, it's like my body remembered how to stand. This exercise gently activated the core muscles, and more importantly, taught the brain to pay attention to balance again. Want another quick tip you can apply anywhere? In line at the grocery store, walking down the aisle at home, or even sitting down. Gently pull your belly button towards your spine. It's a nearly invisible movement. No one will notice, but it activates the very core muscles responsible for keeping your body firm and stable. And the best part? As these muscles get stronger, they start working automatically, without you having to think about them. A strong core brings balance, and balance gives you the freedom to walk with confidence. Secret number 6, ground awareness, the detail that can save your life. Now, let's talk about one of the reasons most surprising behind falls in older people. It's not just loose rugs, slippery floors, or missing handrails. While these factors contribute, the real culprit is often a split second, in which the brain fails to recognize a change in the ground beneath your feet. Think about it. You're walking on a smooth floor and suddenly step onto a soft carpet. or an uneven sidewalk, or even a subtle ramp. If your brain doesn't register this change in time, your body doesn't adjust, and you fall. This inattention to the ground has nothing to do with distraction. It has more to do with a loss of connection between the brain and the feet. Over time, and especially with the fear of falling, many people disconnect from this subtle perception of the terrain. But this can be reactivated, and the technique is simple. Pay attention to the ground again, walk more slowly on different surfaces, feel how the ground responds with your foot, heel, arch, toes. If you can, walk barefoot at home for a few minutes a day on different floors. This type of stimulation helps your brain rewire the balance sensors in your feet. The more aware you are of the surface beneath your feet, the less likely you are to be surprised. And in this game, anticipating is everything. As we age, our brains begin to process visual and physical changes a little more slowly. This isn't a weakness. It's simply a natural part of aging. What once went unnoticed, a change in texture, color, or lighting on the floor, can now disrupt your perception and consequently affect your balance. Think of simple situations, going from carpet to hardwood flooring, entering a room with different lighting, or even seeing the reflection of lights on a highly polished floor. Each of these changes alters what your eyes see, and this can confuse your body. Sometimes everything seems normal, but something feels off. All it takes is a moment of hesitation, and the risk of a misstep appears. That's what happened to Peter, a 79-year-old man from Minnesota. He nearly slipped while walking down a hallway with a shiny floor. The reflection from the ceiling made the floor appear uneven, even though it was smooth. This experience frightened him, but it also brought an unexpected solution. Your physical therapist suggested a simple habit. Say in a low voice the type of surface he was about to step on. Carpet, tile, steps, wood. It seems silly, but this small act forces the brain to focus, and this prepares the body to adapt to the new flooring. Today, Peter does it naturally, almost without thinking, and told me he feels one step ahead everywhere he goes. Here's another valuable tip. Be careful with very shiny floors. They can create optical illusions that confuse perception. And if you wear bifocals, pay extra attention on stairs, sidewalks, or changes in level. These lenses can distort depth and trick your eyes at the most critical moment. Remember, even small changes deserve your full attention. The more present and intentional your steps are, the more confident and secure your movements will become. If these other tips touched you in any way, comment here with the number 46, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, now is the time. We're just beginning a journey that can restore your freedom, security, and confidence, step by step. And tell me in the comments, which of these secrets will you start applying today? There's something that almost no one talks about, but that many people feel as they get older. The silent fear. The fear of falling, of not being able to get up, of losing control. And this fear, when left unaddressed, shapes the way you move, until, without realizing it, you start walking as if you were fragile. But here's what I want you to keep in your heart. Small changes have enormous power. The 6 techniques we've covered so far, from stepping to arm movements, from ground awareness to core strengthening, aren't new movements. You're not learning anything your body doesn't already know. In fact, you're just remembering what he always knew how to do. With regular practice, these techniques awaken the strength that already exists within you. Little by little, fear fades. Your steps are no longer hesitant. Walking stops being an attempt to not fall and becomes a joyful effort again, an expression of freedom. Sarah, an 85-year-old grandmother, told me something I've never forgotten. I realized I wasn't fragile, but I walked like I was. These techniques reminded me that I'm still strong. Only now, I'm smarter. And that's exactly it. It's not about walking perfectly. It's about walking with awareness, with safety, and above all, with confidence. Every little adjustment you make, lifting your chin, letting your arms swing freely, shortening your steps, feeling the ground beneath your feet, seems simple, but together, they build something much bigger. Your freedom. You are not fragile. You are adaptable. You are learning, relearning, growing stronger, one step at a time. Walk with confidence. It's not about perfection. It's about taking back control, regaining confidence, and remembering every day that you still own your body and your life. Now I want to hear from you. Of these 6 secrets we share, what surprised you the most? Are there any you plan to put into practice tomorrow morning? Write here in the comments. Your experience may be just what someone else needs to take the first step. Your story can inspire someone not to give up. If you liked this content, click like, subscribe to the channel, and share with those you love. Your support makes all the difference and helps us continue creating content that restores to seniors what is most precious: confidence, dignity, and joy in life. Thank you so much for being here today. I sincerely thank you for your time, your attention, and most importantly, for your courage in wanting to improve. Take good care of yourself. Walk carefully, calmly, and with pride. And remember, every step you take forward is not just a movement. It's a silent declaration of strength. It's a step towards your freedom.